like to open up the regular village board meeting for the village of Shorewood on July the 9th in the year 2019. If you would, join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Diane, roll call, please.
Mayor Chapman?
Here.
Dan Anderson?
Here.
Steve Brockman?
Here.
Cece DeBold?
Here.
Barb Kirkland? Here. Tony Luciano?
Here.
And Dan Warren.
Here.
Okay. Let the record show there's a quorum. The regular village business can be accomplished tonight. We'll move on. Are there any citizens that wish to address the village board? Being I see none, I'll move on to tonight's consent agenda, which consists of approval of the regular meeting minutes of June the 25th. Also approval of a committee of the whole meeting minutes for June the 25th. Number 3, approval of a release of the executive minutes from May through December of 2018. Number 4, approval of the destruction of audio recordings of the executive minutes from 2017. Number 5, approval of accounts payable in the amount of $329,029.87. Also, approval of a payment in the amount of $11,032.64 to RJN for professional services rendered through 6/14/2019, that one should be a slash, for the 2019 manhole rehab design and the resident engineer. And finally, approval of a payment, number 2, in the amount of $308,153.37 to PT Farrow Construction Company for work completed on the 2019 MFT street improvements. Are there any items that a trustee would like removed for further review?
Mayor Chapman?
Yes.
1 and 2 will be available at the next board meeting.
Okay, so 1 or 2 have been removed. And are there any others? Any board members would like removed?
Nope, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
With the exception of 1 and 2.
I'm sorry, second.
Second from trustee Luciano. Diane, roll call?
Luciano?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
DeBold?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Brockman?
Yes.
And Anderson.
Yep.
The consent agenda stands approved as amended. Okay, moving on, reports and communications. Diane, any communications to the board?
No, Mayor.
Okay. I have no proclamations. The only report is I started my meetings with the YMCA group again, and to set up a group of concerned citizens who are very active and have very high leadership potential in the community in order to drive that effort. It's a process that we're going to work through, and they'll be coming in front of the board in the month of August in order to present their proposal that we budgeted some funds for the survey that they want to run. And so they'll be coming, I think it's the second meeting in August, Mr. Culata?
Correct.
Okay. That's just to brief the board kind of and ask that we go ahead and authorize those funds that we did budget for this item. And to explain what it's gonna deliver. Any comments? If not, we'll move on to tonight's order of business. Business item number 1, consideration for approval of a resolution to authorize the Village of Shorewood to execute and enter into rights-of-way agreement with MCI Metro Access Transmission Services. This is some company attached to Verizon, and Mr. Dre.
Thank you, Mayor. This is, like you mentioned, Verizon wanting and requesting to be able to work within the village's right-of-ways. Currently, there's 2 projects they're waiting for some permit review from us, but require this right-of-way permit to be in place first. One is on Black Road from Route 59 to the water tower, and the other is Earl Road from Route 52 to that new cell tower by Gully. But then after this is done, there'll be some, I'm sure, deployment plans that they have already discussed with staff on some of the future small cell or 5G work. So this has been reviewed by our attorney and recommending approval and waive the second read.
Wasn't
Glad
there
to answer
something?
any
Well, this is a resolution, so we really, we don't need a
Oh, you
second,
don't need a second?
No.
I'm sorry.
so.
Okay.
Wasn't there some changes?
No,
that-
I mean,
No, you're right, yeah.
it's part of my job.
Apologies.
Okay. We all right?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Just,
I was just moving
I
back
didn't
so you could see Chris. I didn't want to block you.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay. Entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
So move.
Second.
Okay, Diane, roll call, please.
Anderson?
Yes.
Brockman?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
DeBold?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
And Luciano?
Yes.
The resolution stands approved. Moving on to number 2. Update of River Road and Route 52 railing. Mr. Dre.
I was hoping to have some more information regards to price, but I don't have that available at this point. Was tasked at the last committee of the whole to look into adding railing in front of the gas and wash. Working with Burke, we were able to talk to IDOT. They've accepted that as part of that project. So we're working on some estimating, and we'll plan to run that through that project. And if we're within that budget number that we're allowed from the Will County Governmental and all the funding, some of that will be paid through with that project, cost share wise. So, but I don't have the exact numbers right now, but I was, again, apologize, but I was hoping to have them by tonight, so.
Okay. So really, no real update.
Except IDOT's taking that on, which is good news.
Any questions for Mr. Dre on that until more information comes out? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item 3. Consideration for approval of an agreement with RAP Consulting Group for an update to the village's strategic plan. Mr. Colada.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, what is before you is really kind of 2 items that are associated but are distinct and different. The first one is an update for the strategic plan. The last time the village did this was back in 2016. So what's being proposed for your consideration is using the same individual, same company that assisted the village in 2016. And it would be a similar process in which there would be some meetings involving staff as well as the board, and also significant engagement with residents and others, other stakeholders of the village to help create the plan. Specifically, what we're looking for is to do a few focus groups. So this is a groups of maybe about 6 to 10 individuals. And what staff is proposing is to do one focus group regarding residential development, the second regarding commercial, and the third regarding industrial. So the purpose there is to obviously focus on economic development, which has been previously identified as one of the major priorities of the village. And what this would do, the focus group would do, is bring in outside experts, people in the industry who could speak to what the market is telling us currently regarding those specific sectors, and information would then be shared and help inform all of you in the development of the strategic plan. So what the other part of that engagement, part of the citizen engagement is a community survey, which is something that's being proposed by a different entity. So that is by the National Research Center, which is, again, a company that the village has used most recently in 2014, but has used at least one other time. And the purpose of that is to gauge resident satisfaction with a variety of village services. But also there will be an opportunity for staff to prepare some specific questions that we can really tailor to help our strategic planning effort. So to recap, the proposal for RAP Consulting Group, we're looking for a not-to-exceed cost of $14,950. And then for the community survey, National Research Center, we're looking for an amount not to exceed $17,685. And both of these projects and costs were anticipated and are included in the budget. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
After they start this, where does it go from there? Is this just information for us to have, or we've got a plan to utilize this in some manner moving forward?
Are you referring to the strategic plan or the survey, or both?
Both.
So the survey is going to be used to help inform the strategic planning process. So that'll be completed in a time and prior to when we would sit down with the consultant, with the board and staff. So the goal is to have a document that will summarize the consensus of priorities, goals, and objectives for the village over the next 3 to 5 years. And it would look very similar in terms of the structure as the last one, which I believe I previously shared with you, perhaps by email. But the goal is to have a document that we can refer to and use, that's the planning our work, and then staff and the board would carry it out and implement that.
Thank you.
There's quite a lot of questions on that survey. I mean, a lot of.
It's in depth and all encompassing, so to
Is
speak.
that everything that's going out, though? Is that exactly what's going to be going out?
Right, there's a standard questions that they ask, so they ask do these surveys nationally. So the benefit of asking a lot of the same questions is that we can compare ourselves to other communities that are comparable. We can also compare where we are in terms of, let's say, satisfaction with snow plowing. We can look at what our citizens said back in 2014 and what they think of us today to see, what's the trend. Is it a positive trend, a negative trend? And staff and the board can use that from, planning, budgeting, and then just day-to-day operations for all village services.
The comparisons to other communities also is to the same size?
Yes, what we would do is look at Midwest communities of approximately the same size. So I think it was 12 to 20,000 was the range, and they have a fair number already in their database that they've done surveys for.
And it's just the surveys are just sent out randomly to
Correct.
different people?
Yes, there's a random survey that is sent out, and the purpose of that is to get enough so it's statistically valid. And what I mean by that is it's going to be something that we can look at the results and say, this is representative of the community generally, okay? And that will help all of us understand a general sentiment of the community. There is also an option, which is at no cost. If we are interested, after the mail survey is done, the statistically valid survey, they will put the survey online and allow anyone that wants to complete it online to do it. And they'll keep the results separate. So the online survey results won't be mixed with the mail survey, because the online survey will not be statistically valid, okay? Because anyone and everyone can go on, and in some cases, maybe even
Multiple
vote more
times.
than once, right? So you don't have the same control as you do with the mail. So if the board is interested in giving the public an opportunity, we can do that online. And that's a decision that doesn't have to be made today, but we can certainly take your direction if you're interested.
That sounds interesting.
Okay. Any more questions about the RAP Consulting Group? I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement with RAP Consulting.
So move. Second.
Diane, roll call, please.
Anderson?
Yes.
Brockman?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Luciano?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
And DeBold.
Yes.
Okay, the agreement has been approved. Moving on to business item number 4. Consideration for approval of an agreement with National Research Center Incorporated for a community survey. This is the other one.
Correct.
Make the motion to not to exceed 17,685.
Second.
Okay, Diane, roll call, please.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Brockman?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
DeBold?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
And Luciano?
Yes.
The National Research Center agreement has been approved.
If I could just ask, would you like to make a decision to do the free online survey after the mail survey, or would you like to think about it and we can talk about it at a later date?
I think we should
You
do it.
know, I'd like to jump in. I'd like to jump in first on that, because usually my experience is that a lot of the people that look at those things are the ones that are always looking for something negative on it. And when they come back, their answers or their comments are just damn mean, okay? They come back with things like, well, you idiots want to spend our money again, and things like this, okay? And that, that's fine. I mean, we're all big people. We can take that kind of stuff. But the situation is, why lay it out there? We're paying good money for a good survey for us to use the data, to have it muddied up by a bunch of answers and comments, just because it's available.
Yeah, but there might be good comments.
Separate,
in it.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Separate surveys.
what are we gonna do with it?
Well, it's
Free?
It's really not going to count as anything.
Yeah, if it's free and separate, it's not gonna muddy up the original survey. I don't see any reason why we
Hey.
couldn't do that.
Put it out there. Doesn't
Well,
bother me.
it won't do anything to the statistics, right? But it'll give people the opportunity to see what the questions were and to answer them if they didn't get a survey, correct?
Yeah, I mean, they'll both have statistics, but they'll be
Mm-hmm.
separate from one another.
Right, okay.
Now, so do we want to give the authorization for the administrator to go ahead and authorize that?
Might as well do it now. I don't know why we're gonna wait. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. If not, we're not. I say go ahead.
If it's free, you really don't.
It's
All
free.
you
It's
need
free,
to
right?
have is a head
free.
nod, so.
Right,
I
it
mean,
is free.
I
Yeah,
don't
so
think,
go ahead.
there's no motion on
Yeah.
that. It's free, so go ahead.
Okay,
Put it
thank you.
out there. And let's move on to business item number 5. Consideration for approval of agreement with Burke LLC for design and construction of a meter and a valve replacement at the Sile Road Lift Station. Mr. Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. This was discussed through our budgeting. We've got a inoperable valve, inoperable flow meter at the Sile Road lift station. I'd be glad to go through the scope of work and answer any questions, but we're recommending an agreement with Burke LLC for the $131,800. We do ask that it would be pending administrator's approval. We've got a change or two with the language in the agreement.
Yeah, it's budgeted. I mean, Chris got a drawing there, kind of an overview of the project. Take a look at that. Gonna be, what, 5 days to do it, right?
That's, the goal is to do it in 5 days. Don't have a start date planned or anything at this point because of weather. We want to make sure it's in a dry period, so there's not a lot of bypassing concerns on the lift station. So we have to kind of look at that outlook.
And that's similar to what we did 3 years ago at that lift station. We waited until, I think, late July, early August.
August,
And it
correct.
dried up and it worked out well.
Right. Yeah, similar group coming to do this job. They did a great job with that upgrade, like you said, in 2016.
There are no other questions. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement with Burke for the design and construction of the meter and valve replacement at the Sile Road lift station.
Motion,
Second.
Diane, roll call, please.
Warren,
Yes.
DeBold,
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Anderson.
yes.
And Kirkland.
Yes.
Okay. Agreement has been approved. We'll move on to reports. Trustee Anderson, Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple quick things. Public Works guy's been out doing mainly some crack sealing, and that's after a couple of years, the roads are down, and we go in and seal the cracks that develop and try to get more life out of those roads that were done in the previous couple of years. So that's going on. There's been a lot of storm, not a lot, but there's been some storm damage over the last 10 days or so. That cleanup has come to an end, but if you do have more that you need picked up, just call the Public Works line at 815-553-2321, and then we'll send a crew down there to pick up whatever you got, just bring it out to the road. And that's really all we have right now, so.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dan? Okay, Trustee Brockman, Planning and Zoning Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. Our July 3rd meeting was canceled, and so our next meeting will be August 7th. We have Caldwell Banker sign for sure, and possibly 2 or 3 other agenda items, but for sure, we have 1 item as of right now. August 7th, 7 o'clock here at the village. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Trustee Kirkland, Parks.
Thank you. Summer registration is still ongoing, and be sure again to check for the program deadlines. There's still time to register for the last 3 weeks of summer camp. Check the website for registration sheet or stop by Suite 102 to register. Our July 8th Parks and Rec Committee meeting was canceled. We didn't have enough, we had some people out of town. The Party in the Park on June 27th was held. We had a good night with music despite the threat of possible rain, but it did hold off, so we were lucky there. And we had no Party in the Park last week because of the July 4th holiday. So coming up this week, we have Thursday, July 11th. The Party in the Park is a movie, the Lego Movie 2. 6:30 is the start time with the DJ in the bounce house, and then the movie shows at dusk. Then for July the 18th, the Party in the Park, that's a band night, and that's Kashmir. And they've been here before. For those that are not aware, it's a Led Zeppelin cover band. 6:30 p.m. the band starts, the bounce house and other fun activities. It's, again, family-friendly event. And July 20th, coming up is our, Saturday, July 20th, is our annual cardboard boat regatta. The regatta starts at 2 p.m., but pre-judging of the boats will run from 1 to 1:45. Think your family, business, neighborhood, or nonprofit group has what it takes. Build a boat made entirely from cardboard and duct tape. and see if you can sail away with the best theme, fastest time, or most spectacular sink. For rules and entry procedures, go to the website and find the Cardboard Boat Regatta on the calendar. And you can also get the rules and registration sheet in the Village Hall in Suite 102. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Luciano, Citizens Advisory, that's,
The Citizens Advisory Committee is on summer break. We'll be meeting again on September 26, 2019. Over the summer, we've asked the members to see if they can get other people to get interested in getting involved in the committee, so we're trying to run some kind of recruitment for new members. Presently, we have 17 areas or subdivisions that are not represented on the committee, and I'm just going to read them off in case anyone out there might be interested that lives in one of those subdivisions or area. In Section 1, Field of Shorewood. In Section 2, Huntington Village and Summit Creek. In Section 3, Fox Bend. In Section 4, Brook Forest North and Shorewood Meadows and Brook Forest. In Section 6, Dante Staub 1, Oakwood Manor and River Bluff. In Section 7, Estate of Hidden Creek, Lake Forest South. And in Section 8, the Manor, River Oak South and River Crossing. So if anyone knows anyone or anyone out there is interested that lives in those areas, please contact myself or one of the committee members that are listed on the village internet for the village. Also, if anyone here knows anybody, I know the mayor said he had a list of several people. I don't know if he has contacted them yet, but if you've contacted them, if you can refer them so we can get these areas covered if possible. And that's all I have.
okay. Okay. Any questions? So just one comment for me, and I forgot up front. One of the first officers that was hired for the Village of Shorewood was also a longtime member of the Troy Fire Department, especially in the early days. Passed away the other day, Dan Toomey. In case anybody out there listening, I know that a lot of people on the board here knew him. We with Chief Latin and officials from the Police and Fire Commission and our attorney went up and paid our respects to his family. Dan was quite a guy, quite a character, and I'm sure everybody that knew him and had breakfast with him a few times, okay, they're gonna miss him. So Dan, if you're listening, I hope you're in a much better place. So, right now, I'll entertain a motion to move into executive session for the purchase and sale of land and personnel to consider the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Diane, roll call?
Kirkland,
Yes.
Brockman, Anderson. DeBold,
Yes.
Warren. And Luciano.
Yes.
Okay, there may be business to attend to afterwards, so we'll reconvene the meeting if that proves to be the case. board meeting back to order and then ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned.